Hey guys, Mark here. Well, welcome along again today to Poole Moto here in Dorset in the south of England, and today we're going to be looking at the all new Royal Enfield Scram 411. Stay tuned and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Well, hi there guys, Mark here. Welcome along today to a review on the all-new Royal Enfield Scram 411. So let's take a look round and just run through the specifications. And first off, many thanks to Poole Moto here in Dorset in the south of England for lending me this bike. I'll put a link to their website in the description for you. So price on these, they're coming in at a very reasonable £4,599, which I think is terrific value for money. And the turquoise and the white colour schemes are another £100 more. So this uses the same engine as in the Himalayan. It's a 411cc, hence 411 on the tank, and it's a single cylinder, single overhead cam. It's air cooled, and it also has an oil cooler over there as well. It's got a very modest 24 horsepower at 6,500 RPM. So it's all about low revving, this engine. Torque is 32 Newton meters at a very low 4,250 RPM. So quite a decent sized fuel tank on this, 15 litres. And due to their modest low-ish power, they provide very good economy. You should get about 80 to the gallon, UK that is, from this, maybe even more. So that should give you a range of over 250 miles, which is really good. Very nice, comfortable one-piece seat on this. Do like that. I'll report on that later on, how comfortable it is. It's quite low. It's coming in at 795 millimeters. Just take a quick look at me on the bike. I'm 5'7" tall, 30-inch inside leg, and I weigh about 75 kilos. So just so you can see how I fit it, so then you can compare it to yourself. These come in at 185 kilograms dry weight. So no LEDs on this, it's just good old-fashioned halogen bulb there. Got dual purpose semi-knobbly tyres made by Seat, which is an Indian manufacturer. It's got a 100 section tyre on the front with a 19-inch wheel, so that's down from the Himalayan's 21-inch. So still quite a decent sized front wheel for rolling over rough stuff. And on the back we've got a 120 section running a 17-inch wheel. Spoked wheels with tubes. Five-speed gearbox on these. It's a new bike, but it's very smooth shifting, so that's all good. So what Royal Enfield are kind of pushing with this new Scram is kind of aimed for the urban jungle, the urban environment, and it's kind of a interesting sort of category. It's like an ADV scrambler style crossover bike, so it's sort of built for all sorts of terrains really. A bit of off-road, you know, commuting, country lanes, all that sort of stuff really. It's kind of like a do-everything sort of bike. Nice touch on this, that it comes with the tripper navigation as standard. I did use that on the previous Himalayan and it worked really well. Got long travel suspension. Nice that it's got protective gaiters. Got 190mm travel on the front and 180mm travel on the rear. I've got a preload adjustable rear shock in there and non-adjustable front forks. Got 200mm of ground clearance. Nice that they've included a bash plate as well, stump guard. Around about 75 miles an hour top speed on this. So I've got a single disc on the front, ABS is standard, and it's bi-brie front brake, which means by Brembo. So obviously different styling on this to the Himalayan. We've got this new kind of shroud here now, little Royal Enfield emblem there. These little unique sort of side panels which give it a nice sort of feel. But I really do like the aesthetics of this. It looks really smart. It's kind of got that aggressive sort of scrambler style. So servicing on these, going by the book, and the book says first service is at about the 300-mile mark. Doesn't have to be bang on. That's oil and filter change, and they should be checking and adjusting the valves as well. They've got an interim service at 3,000 miles, which is like a check over, and then oil and filter change, it says, is at 6,000 miles. Personally, if this was my bike, I'd be changing the oil a little bit sooner than that, because the oil does work hard in these singles, so probably just best to get the oil and filter changed at the 3,000 mile service intervals. These come in nice colours, 5 different colours. You've got blue, you've got this red, a yellow, turquoise and a white one. 3-year warranty, which is nice. So there you go guys, Royal Enfield Scram 411. Let's do the test ride. Okay, Royal Enfield Scram 411. Let's try this out. So quite easy to hop aboard. It's quite a low seat and I'm able to get my feet down quite easily, and not quite flat footed, and I'm 5'7", 30-inch inside leg. So just talk about all the controls. You've got a cable operated clutch which is non-adjustable. You've got the usual sort of switch gear that you see on so many of these sort of bikes these days. You've got your headlight flasher, high and low beam, indicators and horn. Over this side you've got your hazards, starter, kill switch, and just over here is your info button which changes it on the trip meters and the odometer on the dash here. So very nice dash. Got your sort of analog speedo, fuel gauge, you've got your clock, gear position indicator which is nice, and all your trips and odometers. Very nice that it comes with the tripper navigation. I have used that on the Himalayan before and it worked lovely. And your warning lights at the bottom there. So non-adjustable front forks, but they feel nicely damped, and a preload adjustable rear shock. Let's start it up. So 411cc single cylinder, nice throttle response, sounds nice and throaty. Alright then, well, let's try this out. Easily into first gear, and a very, very nice smooth early taking clutch, which you all know that I like, so that's great. Okay, so out on the open road a bit more now. Just going to see how the Scram rides. So we just run through the bike in the usual way. So just starting off with the mirrors. Usual sort of stalky looking affairs. You can see about 20%, 30% of my elbows. A little bit of vibration in them, because obviously it's a big single. But generally all in all, quite a good view behind, so no problems there at all. Riding position, And the bars, nice wide bars, good shoulder width apart, feel good actually, the bars. I'm pretty much upright, maybe a fraction of lean forward lean, but you can rake the bars back here on the bolts, so you could bring it back a bit more if you wanted to. So I say generally a nice upright position. Seat is very, very comfortable. Been on this bike for about an hour now, and so yeah, seat feels very, very padded and well and plush. Loads of leg room. If you were a taller guy, say 5'10", 6 foot, you'd have no problems with this. Little bit of a angle back, but generally on the whole, very, very comfortable. So being quite a big-ish single cylinder, there's lots of torque from low RPM. It thumps along with a very sort of relaxed, happy sort of nature, shall we say. A bit like the classic 350 really. It's not about speed, these bikes, it's just about cruising along like this. We're here in the Dorset countryside at the moment, so we're just going along at an indicated 50 mile an hour, no rev counter, but I can barely feel the engine. I guess it's doing about 3,000 RPM, something like that. No vibes at all through the bars or the seat, and the slightest buzz through the pegs, but it all just adds to the character. Then a nice happy vibe, shall we say, not a nasty irritating vibe. So dashboard, speedo, all very clear, easy to read speedo, fuel gauge, nice to have a gear indicator, that's nice, and of course the tripper navigation. So quite basic suspension on these, but it provides a very comfortable ride. I would say it's soft enough to do a little bit of light off-roading, some sort of gravel tracks, that sort of thing, but for these sort of bumpy roads that we have here in the UK, it's more than adequate. So say it's non-adjustable on the front and preload adjustable on the rear, but it feels just right, set as it is really. So nothing behind, we just tried a front brake out only. Obviously it's still bedding in, but I would say that's sort of adequate. It's not mind-blowing, but it's more than adequate for a bike of this nature. The back brake feels very good. So second gear, just winding it open a bit. So quite easily up to 50 mile an hour, and top speed of around about 75 on this. So very relaxing engine, makes decent progress without feeling rushed at all or overstressed. Gearbox, clutch, all very nice and positive. So obviously this bike's pretty new, so it will get smoother with use, but all in all, nice clutch and gearbox. Switch gear, as I said earlier, it's just the usual sort of thing you see on most of these bikes these days, these sort of lower price bracket bikes. All very tactile and easy to use, no problems with that at all. 3-year warranty on these, which is good. So just going down the gearbox now. Right, we're just going to come into a 30 zone now, so we can just see how the Scram fares in like a town environment. It's just a sleepy little village, this. So we're in third gear at the moment, just checking the fueling. Don't want any hunting or surging. So as I said, big singles can be a bit thumpy, a bit sort of chuggy at low speed, but do you know what, this is really nice. This is very smooth, so there's no surging or hunting in the fueling, and the engine itself is very smooth. Yeah, that works a treat actually. Throttle response, as you'd expect, there's no riding modes on this. It's very mellow and soft throttle response. Just down to second now, 20 miles an hour. Yeah, that feels really good. The overall bike sort of weight and manoeuvrability, again with these big wide bars, very easy and nice. So yeah, absolutely no problem at all, guys. If you had to use this in town, fueling, gearbox, clutch, general sort of feel of the bike, the way it manoeuvres, all very, very easy. So yeah, I give this 5 stars in the town environment. Okay, so what's the Scram like at higher speeds? So in 4th gear now, just winding it open. Plenty of low and mid-range power. Into 5th now, top gear, easy 60 miles an hour. Feels very effortless at this speed. Just take up a little bit higher. There you go, about 65 now. Maximum speed about 75 on this. This is 65 indicated. So at this speed, no vibes at all through the seats or the bars. Little bit of a buzz coming through the pegs, but totally nothing to worry about, not in a bad way, just adds to the character. Bike feels nice and stable at this speed. It's quite windy today coming from my right, but it's holding its line nicely. Wind blast, obviously it's a naked bike with not much sort of protection, but it's hitting me square in the chest. No problems at all really, it's very, very manageable. We'll just slow it down a little bit now to 60. It's nice and manageable now. You could sort of maintain this speed all day long. So if you wanted to do some distance on this, a couple of hours in the saddle, no problem at all. It's got a nice comfortable riding position. You could sit at this sort of 60 mile an hour all day long and give very good fuel economy. Tank range, about 250 miles out of this you should get, so excellent. So just winding it open in top gear, 60 miles an hour, there's a 65, just approaching 70, so it's got a little bit of top gear acceleration to be had as well. So yeah, absolutely fine guys. The Scram at slightly higher speeds, no problem at all. So we're 3rd gear now, just winding it open a bit. Yeah, very nice. Handling, as I say, it's set on the soft side. Quite soft front forks. Obviously it is designed for a little bit of off-roading this. But it's good fun around the corners, I would say. And the Seat dual purpose tyres grip absolutely fine. Does make a really good noise, that single cylinder. Right, 2nd gear, just winding it open. Lots of drive from low RPM, which is what single cylinders are all about. So very quickly into top gear, 5th gear. Just cruising along about 55. Feels very relaxed indeed. But at this sort of speed, it's a charming bike to ride, really nice. Good fun to hustle around the bends. Nice willing engine with lots and lots of character. So you should get around about 80 to the gallon out of this, maybe even a bit more in it, because it's in a very, very low state of tune. So it's a well-proven engine. It's been used in the Himalayan for quite a few years now. There's no reports of any nasty problems with them, I believe, so all good in that respect. So just to run through again guys, nice upright position, very relaxing engine. I mean, we're just in 5th gear now, 55, just chugging along without a care in the world. Feels very effortless. Adequate brakes. Suspension feels decent. Set up for sort of comfort rather than sort of high performance. Seat is very, very nice. Plenty of room to move about if you have to. And it's nicely sort of sculpted as well. Okay, so we're just going to wrap this up in a bit and we'll find somewhere to pull over up here. we'll just do a little roll on while we're here. Third gear, there's 40, we'll just wind it open. There's your 50. So yeah, it winds on quite nicely. It's only got 24 horsepower, so you can't expect miracles, but it's reasonably keen. Right, we'll just wrap it up here. Does sound good. Give you a quick sound check. Lovely. Right, we'll just see how it goes into neutral, back into first, easy, back into neutral. That's all good. Right, we'll just have a look at the indicators and high beam. So just basic halogen bulb there, high beam. And I do believe it has an LED rear light. There you go. Great stuff. Royal Enfield Scram 411. Let's take a walk round, shall we? So yeah, Seat tyres from India. Good dual purpose tyres, no problems there. Long travel suspension for a bit of off-road. Nice that they've put the gaiters on. I do like all this new shroud, this cowling, that's nice. So you've got an oil cooler there as well as air cooled. The casting on the engine all looks very nice. No problems here at all. Well, welds could be a bit better, but hey ho, you know, it's built to a price. Nice that they've put a very long mudguard with an extension there to stop all the crud hitting the engine. That's a nice touch. So very comfortable seat there, nicely sculpted out. I like that, that's good. So no centre stand on this, but it does look like you've got the mounting holes there that a centre stand could be fitted, so maybe that's an optional accessory that you can buy. So nice little dash, I like that. So there's your single disc ABS, twin piston caliper, bi-brake front brake. Yeah, I do like the look of the engines. Royal Enfield have really upped their game now. So 5-speed, chain drive. Did take the seat off. Unfortunately, there's nothing much under there in the way of storage. So we'll just see what it's like off the side stand. 180 odd kilos. This is dry, so pretty light off the side stand and quite easy to push around, and a half decent turning circle. So that's all good. So there you go, guys. Royal Enfield Scram 411. A do-it-all bike for a very good price. So what are your thoughts on this? Something you'd consider buying? Have you got the Himalayan? How's that going? Yeah, definitely give one of these a look. Obviously it's A2 for new riders. So please post your comments down below. Give me a like, thumbs up, share and subscribe as always. And I'll catch you again in a few days for another review. Alright guys, ride safe and bye for now.